And that's what we're going to do, folks. Nathan McVeigh is joining us in studio with us. Nate, good to see you, buddy.
It's good to be back.
And you are a movie aficionado.
I like when you call me that.
Yeah, how about that? So we need to get your take on some flicks that are out there right now.
Fantastic. Okay. Yeah, it's something I came up with. It's a can't wait to see or not for me.
Okay.
It's fun
That's
to
your
just,
rating system.
Yeah,
okay.
I like that.
I want to feel respected.
So we're going to call this, what, NateFlix?
Yeah, isn't that
I
clever?
love that.
That works.
Already off to a good
Can
start.
I invest in NateFlix?
Oh,
because
please.
we saw what happened with the other one.
Yeah, I'm always open for investments.
I'll give you a buck.
Fantastic.
Okay.
We'll talk after.
All right.
Yeah, so I wanted to go over what movies are coming out this weekend.
Okay.
It's not a big weekend like last week, in which Captain Marvel, which I guess I get to tell you what I think about that after.
Okay, perfect.
But the first movie that's coming out, kind of the big one, is Captive State. And it is a movie with John Goodman.
Okay.
I love John Goodman.
Right.
Yes.
He's one of my favorites. And moonlights Ashton Sanders. He's a really good young actor. It's about Chicago after the aliens have infiltrated Chicago in 10 years. So it's kind of a sci-fi,
So
really
I get to see some familiar places if I watch this movie, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
but probably not as pretty because aliens have taken them over.
Okay.
So it looks interesting. It's a very kind of mysterious message behind it. If you watch the trailer, it doesn't really tell you everything that's going on, which kind of makes me a little bit interested. So I'll have to say this is a can't wait to see.
Really?
Yes. And then the next one, this is a children's film.
Really quickly.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Do you like sci-fi? Are you into that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I like good sci-fi.
Good sci-fi.
You know, which
Yeah,
isn't
we like
that
bad
often.
sci-fi.
Okay, bad sci-fi
Yeah.
can be fun if it's really bad.
Yeah.
But it can't be like, oh, we're trying to be good, but this is really bad. So it's like I like my movies really, really bad or really good.
See, we like the quality movies like that, like Sharknado. You know, is the ones that
that is really bad.
That's what we tend to gravitate towards. Now, I love when you say John Goodman because I agree. I think he is just an exceptional actor at whatever he tries to do. But I've just never gotten behind all of this like zombie, alien.
Yeah, there's definitely
kind
a
of
push.
takeover.
Yeah, there's a lot of them, and so it can kind of get a little oversaturated. But I think that this one's interesting. I like movies to where the trailer doesn't give everything away.
True.
And honestly, in this trailer, they don't show the aliens at all. So
I was going to say, is John Goodman the alien?
Do you think
That's what
you
I'm
ever
looking at.
will? Because there is a strategy, you know, from good old Spielberg days that it's better when you don't
For
see
sure.
what's
And
happening.
John Goodman can be anything.
Yeah.
You know, we went to the same college.
You and John Goodman?
Yeah, Missouri State. We've acted on the same stage. You know,
Really?
yeah, he's
All right.
number one. Maybe I'm number two.
Okay, well, we'll talk slower since
There's
you
a
went to
few.
school in Missouri. Okay. That way you can understand.
But I just want to hear from you guys because this is one that I would say don't need to
This
rush
is-
out there and see.
this
So
is
what
not my
gets you
radar.
excited about this particular movie besides
yeah.
the kind of secretiveness of it and obviously some good performers in it?
I like the actors. Moonlight was probably my favorite movie of 2 years back, and I thought that Ashton Sanders was outstanding. He was in a movie I saw at Sundance too. He's very, very good.
Okay.
The John Goodman. So if they're good actors, I'm always going to be interested in a really good
So
performance.
the actor does really sell the movie.
Oh, 100%.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, good
So,
to
yeah.
know for this one. Okay, so let's move on to the
next one.
next one.
So this is an animated film. It comes from Paramount and Nickelodeon. It is called Wonder Park.
All right.
And
Wonder Park.
yes, and it's a movie about I guess you could say a moody adolescent girl, and she discovered when she was little she loved building these rides, as you can see, and it was like the favorite imagination. But then as she got older and teenager, as I've heard, I don't have them myself, they tend to kind of lose their imagination. So she stumbles into the woods and finds an imaginary amusement park. And it turns out that it's the one that she created whenever she was a child.
No way.
I know, it's kind of interesting. And then apparently there's a really big conflict. There are demented chimpanzees that are trying to take over the amusement park.
Yes.
Yes, it's interesting. I didn't, demented
I
chimpanzees.
want to know who thinks of these things. But
Well, I'm glad you said that, Luke. I'm so excited to see people stepping up other than Disney, other than Pixar, that are really putting out high-quality, fun, animated, full-length feature movies. And they're starting to win the awards now because of what they're doing and the quality. So we need to be paying attention to some of their fun stories, but they always have that great message, like you said, like even when you become older, don't lose your imagination.
Oh, for sure.
And getting
if
involved.
you remember, my favorite movie of last year was Spider-Man.
Yes. Right.
Into the Spider-Verse. And it was not a Disney movie. And
Right.
it was the first time that Pixar had not won an Oscar for Best Animated in forever. So you have a very good point that it's nice to see that other studios are getting involved and not
Kinda
letting
stepping up.
Disney corner off the market.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's animated, so that's always a selling point. I'm sure it's a wonderful thing for parents to have something to take their kids to, and it's definitely a great message with the imagination. I don't know if it's a movie that I'm going to be making my way out to
really,
see
you
this
don't think
weekend.
you should? shell the money out for it?
Probably not.
Probably not.
Yeah, so this one's a not for me, not to be too harsh or anything, but it looks fine. I'm sure little kids will love it, but I guess I get to be an old crotchety man that says not for me.
See, I'm blown away by the detail.
Oh, of course.
I really am. You know, even today, when you see and you know about what they use to make all these stills,
incredible.
It's like that shot right there. Amazing.
I always love the hair, like whenever you can see the hair on, like it's just the detail. Like I can't even begin to imagine how long it takes to go through that process of finding like each fine tooth comb. Like it's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
Unlike the other movie that shows you a lot in the teaser trailer, but you can see a lot of high action, fun characters, and then you add demented monkeys. You can't go wrong.
I like the demented. I want to get a demented monkey plush toy.
It sold you. The demented monkeys was like, I don't know if this is for me, but that got you.
I'm in.
That hooked you.
I'm in. Okay, so what else are we talking about?
So you know what's better than doing anything on the weekend? What my favorite thing to do on the weekend
What's that?
Lay on my couch.
Okay.
I love just laying on my couch. And you know what? There's this thing called NateFlix that has a new movie out this weekend. So I can watch a new movie and I can lay on my couch.
Perfect.
Which is
ideal situation.
I know, isn't it amazing?
Yeah.
It's this film called Triple Frontier, which has a very big star-studded cast. It's Ben Affleck. We know Ben Affleck. Yes, and then Oscar Isaac. He's one of my favorite actors from Star Wars and many amazing films. He's great. And then it's got Oberyn Martell from Game of Thrones. I don't know if you're a big Game of Thrones fan, you two, but I love Game of Thrones.
I'm still on season 1.
It's okay. You'll get to him. He's like one of the best characters ever. And so anytime I see him, it's like, there's Oberyn. That's my dude. And you know, we're only a few weeks from Game of Thrones, so I've got to satisfy that need. But this film, this is like an action crime heist. So they are going on a mission to rob money, but they don't work for the government. They're on their own. So they're trying to find like millions of dollars in South America. It looks good, and it's Netflix, and they have a lot of money. They like to throw a lot of money at things, and this is a very big, like when I saw this trailer, I thought it was coming out to the theaters, but no, it's a Netflix movie.
Netflix only.
It came out Wednesday, and it's on there now.
Really?
So all you got to do is put on your little clicker, and there it is. So
You're good to go. And I'm glad you're talking about this because I enjoy the streaming services. I don't sit down and binge as much as I wish I could, but I forget that they have these new releases because they have the money, because they can get the talent. They're putting out high quality movies that you would see at a movie theater, but you can't see it there. You have to sit on your couch and enjoy.
I love it. That sounds wonderful.
No, movies like this is obviously will increase the membership, which is the whole idea.
For sure. Yeah, that's the you know, you have
idea.
your big time TV shows that you've got, and then when you get stars like Ben Affleck attached to a movie, and I know Will Smith did one a few years ago, and these are some of the biggest named actors. I mean, that's Batman, you know, and he's doing this now. He's not doing Batman anymore. He's doing this, and like it's got a really like qualified director behind it. He did The Most Violent Year with Oscar Isaac. It was an Oscar movie, got nominated for Best Screenplay a few years back. So you definitely have your credentials to it. It's definitely a respected, you know, quality that you're getting.
Not just a
Wonderful.
No, not just another baking show.
I'm glad you're talking about that because I don't always stay on top of what the streaming services are doing, but they're really stepping up in a huge way. Okay, so we need your review of something pretty big that came out last weekend that I'm sure is going to have another amazing weekend.
For sure. It had an incredible weekend. It made over $150 million. And it is, you know what I've learned is women rock. This is a
you're
good
welcome.
thing. Yeah, it is the highest grossing female-led film of all time.
So this goes over, what was it, Wonder Woman?
Yes, it went over Wonder Woman,
okay.
for highest opening. And this is the first Marvel film that was just behind a woman, and it's having success. So maybe they should do more, you know, to represent the ladies.
So explain the movie to me, because when I first heard about the movie, I did not realize this was a lady movie, you know, so to speak.
Okay. So it's kind of
like that's what I was going to say, but
it's a little tough to kind of describe. So Brie Larson plays Carol Danvers, and she is kind of an alien species that far off in a galaxy far away.
Okay.
And she's being trained to kind of reach her max abilities. And then she goes on a mission, and she winds up a place called C3 or whatever it is, but it's Earth. And this is new to her. She doesn't know, or does she know Earth? And she starts to get flashbacks to a place that is very similar in memories that tended to happen on Earth. So as things start to unravel, you start to learn that, oh, she's from Earth, she made her way there. I don't want to spoil too much of the plot, but she has this special ability and special skill. She gathered while she was on Earth, and then through a series of events, she might become an Avenger. I don't know.
Okay.
We'll see.
So there's not like a title to her superhero?
Well, it's not yet. She doesn't get it in the movie, but Captain Marvel, Captain Marvel, that's her thing. But yeah, so Carol Danvers is her name. But in the comic books and everything, she is Captain Marvel.
Marvel. Okay. So
yes.
thank you for clarifying.
I hope I got that right. There are going to be some comic book nerds like, you got this detail wrong. You're going to get some hate mail.
So Captain Marvel is a girl.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's where I was confused.
Yeah, that's where I was very confused. I didn't get that.
Yeah.
Okay.
We live in a world where
Now we
girls
know,
can be Captain Marvel. It's great.
I love
we
that.
Did it.
More power to them, yeah.
I do love that.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice whenever you put so much behind something led by, because there's always this push, like you have to have an actor like Tom Cruise or something to sell it, and they've kind of moved to that. And then, you take a risk on a film like Wonder Woman or Captain Marvel because past history tells you that women might not be able to support these vehicles, but then you have Wonder Woman, which is a huge success, and you have Captain Marvel, which is just as the same. So it's a matter of like, you have a great talent, you have a great story, anything will sell.
Okay, you gave us kind of the synopsis.
Yes.
Can we get your reaction?
Yeah, for certain. Marvel, when they started their first like 5 films, they kind of had a formula where they kind of did the same thing. It was like A, then it goes to this point, then it goes to this point, and you're watching the movies, you're like, oh, he's in distress, it's fine. It looks like he's gonna die, but he'll be okay. It was kind of the same story all the time. They were well told, well acted, but it was kind of the same thing. But they've kind of mixed it up lately, and this is mostly like a Jason Bourne, like a Bourne identity movie masqueraded as a comic book movie. And I loved it. It kind of mixed it up, it was different, and I really enjoyed the chemistry was great between Samuel L. Jackson and Brie Larson, and it was very enjoyable. I enjoyed it. And I think it's kind of a victim to Marvel's success because Black Panther was one of my favorite movies last year, and it basically kind of changed the game for comic book movies. It wasn't really a comic book movie. It was just like this massive cultural commentary, and it dealt with a lot of really important things that kind of made you think, and you're like, whoa, I'm feeling this. And then Infinity War came along, and that was the ultimate like shock. Like, I don't know if I've ever been in a theater where like everyone just gasped and was like, oh, what just happened? And they're like turning around like, this can't possibly, what did I just see? And like, that's an amazing experience. Like, that's incredible.
Be able to have that kind of reaction.
Yeah, and so when Captain Marvel comes along, and it's just a good movie, like it's good and it touches on everything and everything's good, but it's not that like flooring thing. It's just kind of like, oh, it's not that, which is not its fault, but it's what keeps it from being like the best, but it's good.
Now, did it position itself to have future Captain Marvel movies? Yeah,
so it ties, so at the end of Avengers Infinity War, you kind of get a little preview of Captain Marvel. It's like a little pager that's Nick Fury, and he pages her, and that ties in to the end. And the post-credits scene, it might segue into Avengers. I don't want to spoil anything.
I'm only laughing if you're getting these wide shots of me laughing is because I would have to watch like 20 films to catch up.
You wish it was 20.
It
might be more than 20.
No, that's my next question. My next question is, and people know this from the past several weeks alone, we don't go to very many movies at all. And
that's why we need you.
Could we go see this movie and enjoy it without having seen any other ones?
Honestly, this one, yes, because this takes place in the 90s, which is awesome because the soundtrack's incredible.
The 90s,
I remember the 90s. This is the best. You'll love the music. You're like, oh, this is good. She wears a 9 Inch Nails shirt throughout of it. Like,
really?
So all of these events really take place before Iron Man and then like the modern day events of Captain America and Thor. So that is kind of its own bubble. So in a way, you'd be able to watch this movie and know everything that's happening because it doesn't tie in to anything.
So you wouldn't need to see the other ones to understand what's going on.
For sure. But then the credits would come and you'd be like, I don't know who those people are. What is happening? I don't know. And then that's when you call me and then I'll come on and
you explain it.
Yeah, perhaps one I will just take the whole 3 hours and I'll explain everything in the Marvel.
That's probably what's going to take.
The special that we'll have coming out later on this month. All right, there's a look at the movies that are coming out or ones that are still in the theaters in case you're heading out to the movie theater this weekend. Thank you so much. NateFlix.
That's your first edition of NateFlix.
Look for more of that heading your way soon. More great things are heading your way also here on Iowa Live, so don't go anywhere here on CWI with 23. We'll be back.